Hello, my name is Gretchen Hyde, and I'm a student at the University of Idaho in the AOLL program. This is for Class 581, Theory, Practices, and Challenges of Leadership with Dr. Sydney Freeman. This PowerPoint is going to give an overview of the 4 disciplines of execution and how I'm applying it to my professional goals. The 4 disciplines of execution, or 4DX, was written by Chris McChesney, Sean Covey, and Jim Hewling. And these 4 simple looking sounding steps are critical to taking a project from start to finish within a certain time frame. And those 4 things are focusing on your wildly important goals, identify lag and lead measures, create a compelling scorecard to track progress, and cultivate a cadence of accountability. And I'll be covering the first 3. Wildly important goal seems like a really simple concept. We all have a list of goals or an ongoing compilation of projects that are happening. And the more goals you have, the less effective you are, and actually the less you get done. That concept makes a lot of sense to me, and that resonated with how you have to focus. Focus is the key word here. 1 or 2 is probably the maximum number of major projects you should be working on at a time. So to identify the wildly important goal, or WIG, a major project should have a deadline, outside of the daily routine of activities, not just in your daily work, needs focused attention a lot of times with a team, and will be a major accomplishment once it is finalized. My WIG is a project I'm actually working on right now and started this summer and is struggling a bit, to be honest. It's a one-of-a-kind project. It's beyond all other programs that I have existing. I'm working with several partners, none of whom actually work for me, so that's a challenge. It takes a lot of extra creativity time and coordination between all of the vendors as well as the partners, and will be a showcase exhibit that that people are really looking forward to. So focusing on this is critical. The whirlwind describes the daily responsibilities that consume all of our days. It is important that we still get things done. We can't just ignore phone calls and emails and emergency, so to speak, tasks that come up every day. But the whirlwind is also the main reason that the WIGs are usually difficult to attain. So trying to keep the whirlwind at bay, setting aside appropriate amount of time, whether daily or weekly, to work on your WIG is very important. So my whirlwind includes everything. I am an office of 1, and so I don't have anybody who I can delegate to. So whatever kind of shows up on my desk, on my phone, on my email, I have to deal with. Otherwise it just accumulates and creates more chaos in the future. So organizing my day is very important on that. Lag measures describe kind of what you know has already happened. They describe in the book using financial records or financial summaries for the quarter or the year, but that's always looking backwards, and they're reactive. Understanding, having due dates are great, but how do we make sure we get to those in a proper amount of time? What are the indicators that we can influence? And lag measures we cannot influence. Lead measures are what we can influence, and a lot of times they are behavioral changes that influence the results. Weekly coordination with the graphic designer, weekly coordination with the partners, layout design breakdown by section, setting realistic timelines for each of these sections. We're breaking this project into smaller chunks, basically, so we can accumulate and really stay focused on specific areas. It's a big project. And we are planning on and already have started meeting weekly to stay on track and to coordinate our timeline and each of our very complicated schedules. So the compelling scorecard is the concept of measuring and tracking visually and communicating where we are with things. And this is a tool that I have implemented, has already helped us out with all of our different partners who are working in different locations and a lot of times are traveling. Keeping this very clear and having them have the ability to come back and kind of give the update of where they're at with what their task was is really important, because a lot of times we were duplicating our energy or leaving things out. So the visual compelling scorecard I came up with is very detailed. It's a detailed schedule visually. It's color coded by partner or by whoever is responsible. It's broke down into each section of the trailer. Once again, we'll be meeting weekly to go over this, as well as we're going to post it online, so through Google Docs, so everybody can update their parts and mark when they're done with their section and share it. So this is another part of our compelling scorecard. This is a blank slate. This is where we're starting from, and having the ability to show progress on this trailer visually also will help our progress. This is a little bit of the layout on the inside of the trailer that we're working on, and as we fill in, we're going to kind of mark off what we're starting from left to right. I'm a very, I guess, linear person. I want to make sure that we've got each step, completely covered before we head on to the next one. And so this is the layout. These are the three major sections that we're using. So as an example, this is the first panel, but that is not what the panel will look like. This is what needs to be included and the graphics that we need to get together to provide to the artist so she can complete her section. So this is the compelling scorecard that I came up with and have already been working with my partners to fill out the schedule. And we came up with, I think, a pretty realistic schedule. We are starting already, and I started with December. We hope to be done before July 1st, but our goal is actually to be earlier than that. So we kind of set our sights a little tighter since then. Here's the second section, and so it gives time frames of when. So for instance, I'll use April as an example. She travels frequently. There's times she's not even in the office, so I don't want to put her responsible for something to be due when she's not available. So she went back and basically picked out what she's going to work on and when she can work on it. So then we know that everything's going to be ready by the time Antonia, who is our artist, has a chance to work on it. Same thing at the end. Brian, who's the fabricator and putting everything together on the trailer, he needs all of this as we go along. But communication is a big part of this as well, and having the ability for him to attend as many of these meetings as we go has already been helpful, because he's got some great ideas and suggestions, and then also kind of brings some things up that we may not have thought about. So the coordinated weekly meetings is a big part of it. We're making progress. This is just the rough draft that we started with, but it's already changed quite a bit just through these conversations. And I'm really excited about it. And I think this is a book that I'm already recommending to other people to read, because I think it is a really good way to get things done, especially when you're working collaboratively. Thank you for your time.